Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Our first story seems to be bothering people, and I don't come to make light of it at all. Let me tell you the story, and then I'll tell you my feelings about it. The headline, Tom Segura and Christina Pazsitzky have reportedly split. They've been married for 18 years. A source told TMZ they had a special and productive relationship, creating one of the most successful comedy podcast networks in the industry, and more importantly, 2 kids. They're taking different paths moving forward while remaining devoted to their children. They've been married since November of 2008. In her 2017 Netflix special, Christina P. said, "I love my husband. I laugh at his jokes. I think he's fantastic. And then all day, every day, I want to punch him in his dumb face. It's not the big things that make you want to kill your spouse. It's little stuff." Back in 2019, Tom Segura joked the key to his marriage was intimidation and fear, saying, "My wife is Kim Jong-il and I'm the people of North Korea. Every day there are a series of interrogations leading to a looming execution." The pair will reportedly continue to host the podcast Your Mom's House. So obviously a big story if you follow comedians, and Tom is one of the bigger comedians right now. You know, for me, I don't come to, it's sad to me when anyone's marriage breaks up. This is very different to me than like if Amy Schumer posts a picture on Instagram in a bikini, she wants us to talk about her and I'm happy to poke fun at that. But this here, just, you know, I don't like seeing anybody break up. The New York Post said Segura hinted at the split by ditching his wedding ring during the latest episode, Monday's episode of Two Bears, One Cave. That episode came out the same day of the news of the split. I'll just caution everybody, don't read too much into that. I wasn't wearing a ring for a while. You know why? Because I play beach volleyball and my hands would swell and it was bothering me. And depending on how fat I am at a particular moment, sometimes the ring bothers you and you take it off, especially playing volleyball. I'm used to playing it now and I've actually dropped some weight this summer. Some days it's loose. Right now it's a little, not loose, but you know what I mean? I can slip it on and off. And other days it's tight. Don't read anything into that. Maybe Tom Segura is playing volleyball. The New York Post says the couple has not filmed an episode of Your Mom's House together since late April, during which Segura wore his wedding ring. And apparently someone did the homework and saw that Tom had his wedding ring on all prior podcast episodes. You people have too much free time. I was going to share with you that, and I still will, Tom Segura was on the Colin and Maher podcast talking about YMH Studios that came out prior to the news of the split. And, you know, it was a decent listen in terms of the business of podcasting. People are not happy with Will Ferrell. They found him really annoying Monday night during the Home Run Derby on Netflix. I found him so annoying that I had to turn the thing off. Let's listen to Will Ferrell introduce Bryce Harper.
The man who never has to pay at Wawa. The Liberty Bell comes and takes photos of him. His vehicles have crossed the Delaware more than George Washington. He has 21 career ejections, most of the MLB. And hopefully he ejects some balls tonight. Bryce Harper.
You can tell Netflix does not care because they shared that clip on social media, so they think it's great. In general, social media was not happy at all with Will Ferrell. I saw a lot of chatter. I shared it in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group, with people just being like, please shut up. A lot of people suggesting Will Ferrell is past his prime. He's got the new show out on Netflix, The Hawk. So we'll see if there's a Ferrell-sance or not. In The Hawk, Will Ferrell stars as Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins, a washed-up golf legend who's trying to make the sport's greatest comeback by chasing one final major, and in typical Will Ferrell fashion, that's accompanied by plenty of chaos along the way. The Hollywood Reporter compared it to Happy Gilmore, so you can tell I'm excited about it. Fortune Feimster is part of this. She wondered if the Hawk character would get along with Happy Gilmore. She said, "The characters are so different. I think you love seeing these non-golf type guys in the very buttoned-up golf world. That's the comedy, the juxtaposition. I think they would give each other a pretty hard time, but have a good time doing it." Will Ferrell said, "I was really interested in the possibility of getting to shoot something in LA, and I was intrigued with playing a character for longer than 90 minutes in a film. According to Will, the character really only cares about himself, and that's what gets him back to the top of his game. 10 episodes, Netflix, you'll watch." Speaking of golf, at the American Century Championship last week, Colin Jost teed off from the par 3 17th hole and nearly hit a hole-in-one. His ball rolled to within an inch of the cup. Colin Jost pumped his arms in the air before ripping off his sunglasses and embracing the crowd's roars. Scarlett Johansson, his wife, was there. Jost said Scarlett was like, "Baby, if you're going to win this thing, I got to be there. Like, I got to see the champ in action," because she kind of knew this was my year. Unfortunately for Colin Jost, That was his best shot. He had a couple bogeys and did not win the championship. Remember the other day I was recording the show and I didn't have power and I didn't get to tell you what comedian Michael Loftus said about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding? Loftus told Sky News, "Set your watches on how long this lasts. I give it 3 years tops and then it's over. I don't know how she's going to spin it. Somehow he'll be the bad guy. She'll have her heart broken. There's going to be action figures and she'll probably be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe before it's all over." Are you going to see the Odyssey this weekend? Jon Stewart had on director Christopher Nolan and said, "Holy S-word, it's a staggering work. I was utterly absorbed and transformed by the powerful storytelling and epic nature of it." That sounds like, I'm reading the quote here. John apparently spoke those words, but that just reads like a printed quote. I digress. Stewart said, "It's just remarkable. I feel like I know a lot of the tricks, but I don't know how you did it. Here's what I'm going to say. You're a wizard, Harry. The film is spectacular." Stewart was impressed by practical effects, saying, "That's all practical effects, right? Those are real boats, real water?" Christopher Nolan said, "Real boats, real water." Bill Maher has no intention of retiring. Bill Maher is now 70. For comps, Johnny Carson retired at 66, David Letterman at 68. Bill Maher had on Byron Allen on Maher's Club Random podcast. I have that in my queue for this weekend. Maher said, "People are basically retired at this point anyway, but I don't want to retire, and nobody who is my fan wants me to. I don't feel any different, really, or quite frankly act different than when I was 40. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I still drink and smoke pot and blah, blah, blah. When my life changes, maybe the show or my career will change. But until it does, not retiring."
Comedy stock market.
Thank you, Burt Reynolds. This week on the comedy stock market, we're going to make some aggressive plays, okay? If you're new to this, every week we try and find value in the comedians. We try and sell high and buy low. And I'm not all that confident I'm right this week, but I'm going to place some bets here. Let's sell Will Ferrell. I was looking at social media during the Home Run Derby, and people were annoyed, and people were saying things like, Will hasn't been funny in 15 years, and Will is past his prime, and I haven't seen this Netflix show or not. I'm sure right now if I log in, it's probably number one in trending just because he is Will Ferrell. But I don't know if people are kind of done with Will Ferrell. So let's sell Will Ferrell. I might be wrong there, but that's the recommendation. Sell Will Ferrell. Let's also sell Tom Segura. I'm seeing a lot of vibe of Tom lost weight and he's gone Hollywood and he's lost his way and just the general public blaming Tom Segura. I'm not in their marriage. I don't know what goes on or not. I wish them both well. As I've said, I'm sorry anytime anybody breaks up. But, trying to make some hypothetical money here. So let's sell Tom Segura. And let's buy Tim Heidecker. I've been spending some time on this new rebooted InfoWars. And what Tim Heidecker is doing on there is amazing. I can't stop watching it. Basically making fun of the entire Alex Jones persona, and he has got my attention. So we're going to sell Will Ferrell, sell Tom Segura, and we're going to buy Tim Heidecker. That's your comedy stock market this week. If you need something to listen to besides me, Arch Barker's new comedy album, The Mind Field, is out today via Blonde Medicine. You can also find it on various places that stream comedy albums. Late Nighter tells us the TV Academy is preparing for the possibility that this year's newly recombined Outstanding Variety Series category could produce more than one Emmy winner. I told you about this the other day. If you get more than 90% of the votes, you get an Emmy. CEO Maury McIntyre said it's a pretty high bar to clear 90% yes votes, but it's not unreasonable. It could happen. We're planning for it just in case. Under the new structure, voters won't be asked to choose one winner. They'll just vote yes or no on each series. I'll walk you through the series in a minute and tell you what's going to happen here. If no nominee reaches 90%, the Emmy goes to the show with the highest percentage of yes votes. McIntyre told Deadline, one of the things we had heard from the community loud and clear was these are such disparate shows, it's hard sometimes to compare them. Like, what is Saturday Night Live? How is that really the same as Colbert? That's why this idea of the area award made more sense. Again, I think it's stupid. So let me walk you through this. The Daily Show, you want to give it an Emmy? How about Kimmel? You want to give Kimmel an Emmy just to stick it to the man? Probably. How about John Oliver? He almost always wins anyway. How about Colbert? You're going to want to give Colbert a vote just to stick it to the man, right? And Saturday Night Live did not have a great year at all, but I could see them getting votes. So those are your five. Jimmy Fallon's got to feel pretty dopey being left out, and luckily Seth Meyers isn't on this list, make 12:30 great again. But again, I could see Oliver, Kimmel, and Colbert all getting one, and then what are we even doing? Do you believe in the Mandela effect? I do, because where I'm from, the guy from the Flight of the Conchords used to be named Jermaine Clement. And at some point, the R went out of his first name, and his name in this universe where I'm speaking to you today is Jermaine Clement, and I'm telling you, that was not always true. Jermaine Clement told Vulture, New Zealand political correctness came quite early. We still like to try and not insult whole groups of people, and we stuck with that. He then joked, oh, it's cool to make fun of trans people now? We should do that. We've not done that. But there was a reaction of political correctness of going, okay, it's edgy, make a racist joke, but it wasn't edgy. It was just old. It was just old-fashioned. And it's like that again. It's like this just looks like it's from 1970. Aida Rodriguez spoke to the LA Times about comedians taking jabs at marginalized people. Aida said, yeah, there's no balance when people say, oh, the trans people are so sensitive, queer people are so sensitive, because the people who are talking about them are at the top of the food chain. If there was a trans comedian that was in the Forbes top 10 that could push back and give their perspective and their point of view, then it wouldn't be as horrible, but there's no balance. Sometimes that translates into violence. I got tired of that and I decided to create the world I want to be in because I'm tired of fighting. Comedy and music bring people together. Comedy is very subjective. There should be a spectrum. You either love George Lopez or Fluffy, and there's never any room for anything else. And there are many voices in comedy. With Frankie Quinones, we started a long time ago together. I thought This Fool was brilliant. It was a great representation of the city. The fact that he took time to be part of something that represented LA and the community in a way that you never see is so special to what's happening right now. Aida's got a new show called The Remix, and I wanted to put all that stuff together and celebrate us because no one else is going to do it for us. And that is your comedy news for today. Saturdays during the summer, I've been doing some deep dives on single topics. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at mega comedian Nate Bargatze. See you then.